So, welcome everyone and a happy new year. This is the first session of 2026, and we are so excited to have you all together. So, we are starting this year with the important questions how leaders should think in the age of AI, which is the prime question revolving here and there. We hear it over different platforms, LinkedIn, over everything. And here we have leaders from various parts of the world to discuss the same thing how different leaders should say, think in the age of AI. And with this, I will give the stage to Naman, who would be steering this powerful conversation with all our leaders. Naman, the
All
screen
right.
is
Thank you,
all
Agrima.
yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Without further ado, first of all, it's a pleasure to see such a forward-thinking group gathered here today. And welcome to this special knowledge session hosted by, of course, Open Innovator. So quickly, in next 2 minutes, we describe this ecosystem as a place for collision, I would say. Collision, the spot where the scale of industry leaders, the capital of investors, and the raw speed of startups smashed together. And today, as Agrima said, this is the first session of the year, and therefore I'm going to be bold, very bold, because there is no better place, I repeat, no better place on the planet to be standing right now than this exact collision point. Why? Some of you may rightfully ask. Because while most of the world right now still sit back in 2024, mesmerized by AI that can talk to them, we are right now in 2026 talks about AI agents, AI that can act for us. We are moving past the chatbot era, and if you talk about the agentic era, these are not just smart engines, these are autonomous engines. These are not just about smarter computer, it's about the digital workforce that doesn't just suggest a plan, but actually gets the work done while you're asleep. And today's topic is very special and close to all our hearts who works on AI and agentic AI, the age of AI agents. And for the last couple of years, we all have been enamored with the AI that can talk, correct? And we have asked it to write emails. We have asked AI to write jokes, summarize long PDFs, create images, and occasionally, write poems for your friend, for your spouse's birthday, because we all forgot, right? But as we stand here in 2026 or current year, the era of chatbot, as I said, is officially over. We have entered the era of agents. The difference, if you ask me, is very simple but profound. You know, the other day we were discussing Gen AI gave us Copilot that could suggest. AI agents has given us digital workforce that can execute. Now let's talk about, a very basic example to understand this shift. Couple of years back, let's say in 2024, if you have to go to a chatbot and say, I need to get to London on Tuesday for a 9 a.m. meeting. Find me options. What would the chatbot do? The AI will act as a co-pilot. It will scan the web and give you a beautiful list of flights, hotel prices, weather forecasts. It might also draft, I am coming email for you, but then the work stops. You still have to pull out your credit card, book your flight, you handle the calendar, invite, and you coordinate your Uber, taxi. So, you did the heavy lifting. Now talk about the current agentic AI era. You tell them I need to be in London that Tuesday meeting, make it happen for me. The AI agent doesn't give you a list. It negotiates for you. It will, identify the best pricing flight for you. It will transact for you. It will sync for you. The difference is clear. Gen AI is your consultant. The AI agent is your chief of staff. So therefore, the topic, as I said, is interesting. And I know some of you must be thinking, is my job safe with all this AI advancement? So, and there's a famous saying in tech that now and again we keep reading on LinkedIn, AI won't replace you, but a people using AI will, right? So we have tweaked this a bit. In 2026, we have updated this. We now we say that AI leader who manages AI agent will replace the leader who still thinks AI is just a fancy Google search, right? Now, without further ado, I believe it's almost time now to help us navigate this landscape. We have assembled, a Justice League of Innovation. I'll pull up my notes now. These are the people, building the tools, real tools, advancing the giants and writing the rules of the roads, I would say. Please welcome Hanan, the guardian of the guardrail. She navigates the policy minefield to keep our innovation ethical and legal. Welcome, Hanan. We have we have Beatrice, the real world precision expert at the intersection of medtech and VR. Interesting. She ensures that AI agents work where the margin for error is zero. In healthcare, you don't expect any margin for error. So, welcome, Beatrice. Would love to understand your take on this interesting topic. We have Deborah, the organizational architect. She bridges the gap between high tech agents and high impact humans. And we have Ahmed, the enterprise veteran. He handles the AI plumbing, plumbing agents into complex system without breaking the bottom line. Welcome, Ahmed.
Thank you
And
very
last
much.
but not the
Pleasure.
least, we have Puneet. Puneet, he's the founder of AI LifeBot, turning agentic theory into digital workforce that moves beyond talk. Welcome, Puneet. Can we have all our speakers on the screen for one more time, please? All right, there you have it. There you have it. Wow. So, I have one challenge for everyone who have joined us today. I have one challenge for you. Don't think about these, what these agents can do for your business. Think rather think about what your business can do once the busy work is finally gone, right? This is food for thought during today's discussion. We'll now dive into our first segment to kick things off. Let's play a high stakes. What if? You know, it is 2026 this morning. A new member join your leadership team, Ahmed. They don't need a coffee mug. They don't need to take lunch breaks. They process billion data points per second, right? Right, Beatrice? So if an agent join your leadership team tomorrow, my question to you is not as a tool, but as a decision maker, what is the first responsibility you would trust it with? And what is the one responsibility you would never give up? Right? I'll start with Beatrice. So, Beatrice, your work in the high stake of world of medtech and VR, as we were going through your profile, where close enough, as we say, isn't an option. So, in a field, Beatrice, where lives and precisions are the primary currency, what's the first stake or the first task you would offload to the digital executive or an AI avatar, as we say it? Over to you, Beatrice.
Yeah, thank you for the question. As you mentioned, right, I'm in the field of education. We do a lot of training, AI-based simulations. We do virtual reality-based simulations, and it's a lot of data that we process on how the training was performed. And there are many things that we as humans miss, right? What was effective? What is intuitive? Where were the mistakes? And when we train so many personnel, it's very difficult to have all of this data and understand it in order to improve the current simulators and for that practice to be as real as possible. So my first task would be giving my beautiful AI agent all of the data that we have accumulated and asking them, well, where can we improve? What else can we do? What is missing? Research the literature. Tell me what today can we do to save lives tomorrow? What I would not do is then from there ask the AI to actually design the simulator. Now, when you design a training scenario, that's really an ethical call. It's a value-based judgment. You need to understand why you're doing the case. You need to understand all of the demographical information that you're giving about the patient. And for that, you would need real physicians and real experts.
Well, that's an interesting take, Beatrice, and fascinating distinction also. Trusting the agent with the hard science, but keeping the human heartbeat alive. And on that note, we'll move to Ahmed. So Ahmed, as an advisor on digital transformation, you have seen leaders try to automate everything. They come up with a complete checkbook, right? So from a strategic standpoint, what is the low-hanging fruit decision you would hand to an AI agent tomorrow to save a company millions? And what is one strategic gut feeling you would never let a machine overrule?
Yeah, thank you. It's an interesting take that especially the last couple of months and so on, especially in the region in Saudi and UAE with the different organization. With agentic AI, there is a lot of operational tasks that's happening. They're frequently high. You find a lot of people drowning 80% or even 70% of their time just doing the operation, like pulling data from multiple sources, issuing reports, or managing IT service management requests, incident and prioritization, and so on. Writing comments in terms of getting a feedback loop and writing like comments or and distributing them and so on. So the answer is specifically, okay, my first part, my answer might be different from one organization to another, depends on their maturity in terms of the current system, the data and structure. But mainly, the main thing I would give them, the first thing I think about is operational task that's repeated. I know the clear decisions, what they need to take. They can save a lot of time from my employee. I don't want to replace my team yet, but I want them to free them for more strategic work, more work that they need more creative, more ethical values, and they can understand it. So anything that involves operational repetitive tasks and knowing decisions, that I will give them that. The only thing for now, and it's my personal thoughts, it's a no. It's any responsibility that requires strategic decisions that deals with value and customers, something that has an accountability with it. I cannot give it to an AI agent. Or I can give it a specific part, then I need a human intervention to that extent. But anything that goes behind the logical perspective that involves culture, involves value, involves human perspective or client, that I wouldn't give to AI agent yet. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. There you have it from Ahmad. Human in the loop is something that we all should look forward to. But of course, all of this doing and deciding happens within a framework of rules, right? And which is Hanan's specialty, right? So we'll come to Hanan, to you now. You know, you look at the Hanan, you look at the why and the should we part. So if you had an AI agent helping you run the tech policy tank, would you trust it to monitor compliance and bias in real time? And a follow-up question, more importantly, as a policy expert yourself, right? What is one ethical moral compass decision you believe must remain strictly human? Hanan.
Thank you. Well, this is really difficult question, but a very interesting one. I think if I have an AI agent joining my team today, I would probably ask the agent to develop some exceptional communication skills, because in policy making, it's one of the most important values. I don't want to say traits, because trait then it's personality connected and linked to culture, background, upbringing, and a lot of things. But we reached a stage now in policy making where we would require these agents to have a high level of intelligence and empathy and communication and be able to navigate complexity and ambiguity. I think as a policy expert, I would look for the foundations now before deploying AI agents or agentic AI or all this hype about AI. I'll be looking at the foundations of how to make technology work with the help of policy, not to hinder it, but to help it benefit either the business model or, at the level of service delivery or scientific research or whatever outcome we anticipate, that these agents are potentially going to help us with. Now, we have great expectations from these agents because we would like our busy lives to be a little bit easier, reach, consensus on critical issues, as in whether this AI is ethical, whether these agents are going to be compatible with our values and so on. And that's why when we are dealing with data. Data more or less is agnostic until we can make sense of it. So what's the point of having all these systems and all this technology and all these agents helping us in decision making if we can't make sense of the data? That's why I think these agents will need to be intelligent enough not to replace humans. And this is the part where I think an expert or like physical or human intervention is critical, is that I agree with Ahmed on the strategic decisions. Like you need a lot of information to be able to process things quickly and achieve certain strategic decisions that will move you forward in whatever business you're leading. And I'm talking here whether you're working at a tech level, you know, big tech, because I worked in that environment and I understand how important it is to make sure that you're making money actually of that AI that you're, you know, hurrying to develop, or you're wanting to be at the forefront. And at the government level, and because I worked at the highest level in the government, I understand that things happen really, really slow there. And, you know, these agents will guide you, will coach you, will anchor you, but you need to have the safeguards in place and you need to be able to make the right, you know, call for your own situation and not apply a blanket policy.
All right, the word has been said out loud, right? Let agents handle complexity, humans can handle conscience. Great take, great take. And with this, we'll come to Puneet now. Puneet, having known you for some time, you have spent your organization thrive by using agents, right? So, Puneet, my question to you is if you had an AI agent at the table right now with AI Live Bot, you do, of course, right? Would you let it handle the logistic architecture of a company, or is there a part human leadership or culture that you think an algorithm can never truly grasp?
So Naman, I'm liking this conversation, and I'm actually getting more delighted when I get the feedback from the speakers. Very interesting conversation, and every speaker has actually given very important insight as well. My take is if I have an AI agent joining my organization, I will take over, hand it over, lead it, and for me. That is how I will look at it. But jokes apart, I completely agree that right now the AI agent or the state what we are into right now, it's evolving, and obviously we cannot leave everything on the agent to take a decision. So human loop is something which I will definitely look at it. Hope my voice is audible.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, Puneet.
Okay, got it. So I think that's one take. Second take, which I would like to do is the plan how I empower the AI agent for the future, because irrespective whatever the situation currently is, as we move on, the future is AI agents only, which means every decision, including the hyper personalization, including the decision making, the AI agent will be able to do better than us, no matter for sure, because it will be more enriched with the data. It will be more enriched with the clean data what we will be building over a period of time. Right now we don't have the clean data, and that is where the lot of hallucination, lot of I would say human in loop is required. That is for sure. But as we evolve, it will improve, and the time in the future is AI agent is going to take up everything.
All right, so that's an interesting take from the founder, one of the founders leading the agentic AI voice in the country right now. All right, panel, we have come to an end of the first round of discussion. That was quite an insightful discussion. The audience is warmed up, as I can see the coffee is kicking in. And now we are going to pick up the pace. I am going to throw a scenario or a term at you. Give me your gut level leadership take. Ahmad, Beatrice, Hanan, and Puneet. No overthinking, just the truth, so that we all know where it stands today, where agentic AI stands today. Ahmed, first to you, by the end of 2026, do you think the average employee will be managing more AI agents than they do human subordinates, or yes or no, and why?
In my perspective, still no. Still, especially with the clientele that I'm working with, the government sector, there is some preparation work needs to be happen until we reach that level. If you look, especially for example in Saudi, There is a lot of regulation in terms of using cloud services or N8 and so on. So all the organization or the government needs to build themselves in terms of their data structure, their automation, their system, and still maybe a smarter RPA, but not an agentic AI within the organization, but maybe forward in 2027 and so on. And also would like to add, it's not only due to a technology limitation or standards, also with the cultural change. We see a lot of leaders treat the agentic AI as a collaborative tool and an added tool to what tools that they have, and not a fundamental operational change or a change of how you deliver value within your services. So I believe it's still early in this part, my part of the world at least. Some unicorns happen in there, but the majority is still back here.
Bold prediction right now, by the end of 2026, AI agents won't take over the human roles. Well, bold prediction for the workforce for the future. Now let's pivot to the where of work. So, Beatrice, true or false, the most powerful AI agents won't live in a text box or on our laptops, but in our headsets, our glasses, interacting with the physical environment. Is the spatial AI on which you work the real game changer?
I would say true. I would say yes. I see in SF, for example, there are a lot of very interesting startups that are combining humanoid robotics with AI, and I see that trend. If politics allow it, and like our dear speakers were saying, right? Like Ahmed and like Hanana were saying, if regulation allows it, which is very difficult, in my opinion, that would be the most powerful. However, I don't know when we would allow it to enact its full power.
All right, all right. So there you have it again, bold take. And if the interface is everywhere, I think the risks are involved too. And Hanan, you are up now. So Hanan, and AI agents makes a massive financial error that costs company millions, right? Now, my question to you is who gets the pink slip, the CEO, CTO, or the software vendor who is ultimately liable, according to you?
Oh, I think everybody is going to be on the case of the CEO, and I've seen this firsthand. When I worked in Meta, if the CEO takes the wrong decision, and I think this time around the bet is huge on wearables, and I think Beatrice got her eyes on the money. I think that's the ticket item, the hardware basically, which is going to make a huge difference for all this AI hype, I would say. And we need to get it right this time because we have the frameworks in place. All we need now is a strategy and a business model that will help, these companies generate, the profit that they would like from the hype of AI. By the end of 2026, I doubt it. So the technology is advancing, and I'm sure you understand the challenge is how to fit actually all the chips and stuff in the wearables, the size of them, how, they need to operate beyond the infrastructure, layer and all the regulatory, I would say, pushback on how AI is being deployed. So 2026, the end of it would be a little bit of, wild guess. I think we need to do more work to get everybody on board because a lot of people don't actually capture or, at government level, as Ahmed said, things are pretty slow. So you can't expect digital transformation is only taking place now in certain parts of the world because of how tech proved to be very useful in the time when the world just shut down on everyone. But what we have to keep an eye on is this race. Is this race to really make these AI agents operational. I don't want to say weaponized because there is also a lot of political and geopolitical concerns and elements in the interplay. We have to do things right this time because we had the opportunity in the past with decentralized systems, with services or even currencies like Bitcoin. This time around, I feel like all the world is mobilized. We need to all almost have to be able to read the same page of the same book at the same time to get this right. Consensus building is so important. Doing things on your own or coming with a top-down approach, that doesn't work anymore. Testing the regulatory readiness in some markets before deploying products is critical, for big companies, but it's not the only key. I think it's very important to be inclusive in how you develop the technology as well, including obviously AI agents, because that will help the services to be improved, but it also will help scaling. Because when we talk about technology, we don't want a particular agnostic technology to work for one market. We want to be able to scale it, and we want to be able to learn as well from best practices. That's why the foundation is so important.
Well, that's a great take. Once Superman said, with great powers come great responsibilities, right? And to answer Hanan's question, everyone would be responsible. And one thing is for sure, the lawyers are going to be really busy in 2026, right? And with this, we'll come to Puneet. Puneet, would you ever hire a candidate based solely on the recommendation of an AI agent that interviewed them, analyzed their micro expressions? What do you think?
Well, so it depends on where the analysis has been done. So we are building those agents. So what we're talking, we are actually building those agents, and it's not just the LLM based recommendation, or you can say the search or the analysis which the agent is doing. We are also taking care of the background verification. We're also doing the LinkedIn post search, the research what this candidate has been doing in the previous companies. So we are making it more enriched so that by the time I have the candidate recommendation by the AI agent, I should have a concrete information before I take a decision. I think it should be definitely giving me a much deeper insight compared to what I can get while I only talk to the candidate.
Well, that's some really cool thing already happening on ground. And all right, so with this, that's the lightning round. And it's clear that, while the technology is ready to sprint, our leadership frameworks are still lacing up their shoes, right? And with this, we have heard the vision from our panel, the strategy, the ethics, the massive shifts coming by 2026. But as we say here at Open Innovator, innovation isn't just about exploring, it's about building. And it's one thing to talk about how AI agents will change our lives. It's another thing to entirely see that code into action. So with this, on that note, I would request Puneet to take the next 5 minutes to show us some really futuristic and cool thing that AI agent or an agentic AI can actually do, and the impact that it is actually creating on ground, which is very important, right? While we talk about, we can go la la over AI, agentic AI, but until unless it creates the measurable impact, it is of no use. Puneet, over to you. You please welcome Puneet for a quick look at how AI is actually changing lives. Puneet.
So thanks, Naman. So just to give introduction, I'll possibly take a video if you can allow me for a minute.
All right. Puneet, you have 5 minutes, right?
Okay.
And
I'll
then
just
we
take
move
the
to
video.
the panel.
Sure.
So will there be some AI agents in the video
So
doing some live
I'm
demo?
just so no. So I'll basically first industry perspective. I think that will give a very good point of view.
I think some network issue. At least I can't see anything.
Eight.
You can see. So Puneet, I think there is some lag. There is some lag, Puneet.
So is it not working?
Yeah, there is some lag that we are experiencing. I don't know about others, but it would be great if you could, talk about some futuristic thing already,
Sure.
working on ground, something already, some plan that has already converted into action and companies using it, of course. And then we'll move to our panel.
Sure, absolutely. So basically, we are basically working on various markets, including US and also in India as well. So, and few customers in Africa and Southeast Asia. So we have got customers across various continents and having the different nature of the business as well. So for example, we are working on healthcare. The one of the biggest problem is the right? So the patients generally have a lot of focus on how they get the appointment, how they get the teleconsultation from the doctor. So we are building an avatar-based appointment booking system so that the patients can go to the website, they can see an avatar, real time talking to them, and also helping them to book an appointment with the doctor of their preference as per the location of the clinic or you can say availability of the doctor. So everything is happening in the real time with the APIs of the software at the backend, which is HMS or any kind of an HIS the clinic has. That is one of the use case. Another use case in healthcare, Naman, what we are doing is on that diabetic boot, which is more of a like the typical problem which a diabetic patient has, that they don't generally feel the pressure what they have on the foot, which results into an ulcer. So we are creating a boot which is having the sensors which will measure the pressure of the in the peak time and give an alert to the patient so that he or she can take an preventive action rather than getting into an ulcer and then going for the treatment. So objective is to make it more preventive medicine, preventive medication rather than the medication part. So these are the few areas on the healthcare. Similarly, on the manufacturing side, we are working on predictive maintenance and automation of the blue collar jobs. So a lot of machines get preventive maintenance, but the blue collar people, they don't understand that how the machine got maintained, or when this machine is not going to work. So we're trying to
Right.
create a voice enabled. So we are a voice first agentic AI architecture company. So our focus is having the voice at the back and having all the blue collar workers. They can speak in the different languages, whether it is the Spanish, Chinese, you can say Hindi, English, or any particular language, whether it's Arabic also. So they can speak in the respective language and they can talk to the machines. So the data is being captured by IoT devices, SCADA, but at the same time, the data, the engagement is happening using the voice by the workers. So that is more on the manufacturing side. Similarly, on the retail and consumer product companies, we are talking about the customer service AI
Right.
agents, which is very popular use case wherein you have a call center and then you have people come calling for the warranty services or repair services or any kind of a support. So we have done the call center automation agents, which basically take care of not only the just the support part, but even the analysis that how the customer has been coming to the channel from the various channels, and we are able to provide the support. So there are various use cases. There are more than 100 AI agents what we have created so far for various industries, including legal, including I'm talking about the functions: legal, IT, sales, operation, finance, marketing. We have
So
created more than 100 plus agents for verticals also. So that is how we have been working in our journey, and we have been leading on the AI agents, and we look
so
forward
that's
to have the use cases across the globe to support. And objective is to make it more human centric and better in terms of the productivity.
that's quite impressive, Puneet. So so far what we have understood is there are so many bots and AI agents who can work across sectors, right? The beauty of this solution is this is a sector agnostic solution, right? These are plug and play solution that can fit in healthcare, manufacturing, and other sectors as well. So let me ask you, Puneet, let's assume a hypothetical situation, like out of so many bots that you have, and this question is open for all. Let's say one of your bots accidentally, goes mad and orders 5,000 pepperoni pizzas to a client corporate headquarter, for example, right? Because it misread a hunger for growth memo, right? So now, should the CEO be, able to press the delete button on the entire startup, or do you get to blame the person who wrote that memo? So more importantly, Puneet, who's going to pay for all those pizzas?
Right. So first of all, Naman, yeah, these kind of problems can happen due to the hallucination, as you rightly mentioned. But but while we are building the agent for the enterprises, we understand these kind of mistakes can happen, and preventively we are putting a lot of checks and balances in between, and that is where even Ahmed also mentioned human in loop is very important. So we know that where are the gaps right now in terms of the technology, and it is evolving, as you rightly mentioned. It's not reached to the peak maturity level at this moment, but yes, it is evolving. And one of the important reason is the immature data what we have right now. So it will take some more time for get to that maturity that we don't require human in loop. But at this moment, for critical decisions, we are putting human in loop as well. And also there are agents which keep on doing the performance management as well. So while there's an agent which is doing the action, we also have the anti-agents who are actually doing the audit and who are actually doing the performance management of the agents as well. So it's not just we are leaving for open-ended function. It is also taking care of the checks and balances as well.
Right, Puneet, you have spoken like a true founder. You have shifted the blame to the user error before the pizza even gets cold, right? So it just, goes to show whether it's the healthcare policy or pizza, the human in the loop is still the most important part of the equation, right? Now, I would like to bring in our panel back into the spotlight for one final round of discussion. We have spent today talking about the immediate horizon, but let's take the final leap forward. Let's imagine all our panelists imagine it is 2030, right? 2030, or let's say 2035, 10 years down the line. Future leaders are looking back at us, the executives of the mid 2020s. Now, what will they say we got fundamentally wrong about AI agents? And what is one thing they wish we had acted so much sooner? So Hanan, when the history of we'll bring you first. When the history of AI regulation is written, will they say we were too worried about killer robots and not worried about the subtle erosion of data sovereignty? What is a policy time bomb, you wish we were diffusing right now?
I think I would definitely think of AI as not as smart as we all think. Uh, like 10 years down the line, as a policymaker, hopefully by then I'll become a minister or something that can make real difference, on the ground. I'll be thinking that these AI agent buggers are not as smart as us, and we have to be able to be on the top of the technology as humans, because we can make sense of things, of communications, of the implicit much better than any agent that we train ourselves. Like, I would like it to be more of a tool in systematic decisions that cuts time, energy, and probably help you optimize the processes, especially when you are running large projects and large structures, whether in big companies or at the level of the government. But to get there, Naman, I'm afraid there is a lot of work to be done, because I think my colleagues will be aware that the digital transformation wave, we're yet, to see how optimal it is in particular contexts. So we do have few billion of people who are not yet connected to the internet. We do have a big chunk of the data that we aim to process and make intelligent, so we can use it in processing our systems and solutions, which is not yet available. We have to think carefully about how we're doing this in the future. So I think the machine ultimately will never outsmart the human. So we need to mobilize the machine to follow instructions, have the checks and balances in situ, make sure that the foundations are there when it comes to infrastructure, how it's deployed, the data protection frameworks that are in place. These are the concrete steps that we need to take. And I think hopefully in 10 years' time, we're not going to be blamed, of making dumb decisions and employing dumb agents.
All right, so there you have it. It's all about shifting from fear to framework. If I put it in just two words, right? So Ahmad, let's move to you. In 5 years, or let's say in 10 years down the line, will leaders look back and realize that you know efficiency was the wrong goal? Will they wish we had focused less on cutting costs with agents and more on reimagining entirely new business models that were previously impossible? What do you think?
I think you're absolutely in point. And you just the same thing I was planning to say is leader will think about, I wish I didn't run after ROI or cost reduction or efficiently reduction from the start, from now, and was running after the hype, saying that I have agentic AI or implementing agentic AI. And the reason for that, a lot of the leaders, organizations, and so on, they lack the understanding of what's AI and what's agentic AI, what's LLM, and probably would spend more money in capacity building, understanding the technology, what they're capable to do, how they can deploy it correctly, and plus change management, how they treated the technology within their organization. As I said before, others saying a lot of organizations treat AI as an add-on technology to that, which is not. It has a profound impact on organization structure, decision making, hierarchy, workforce, and so on. And the dangerous about it is it's not like implementing a new ERP. You can implement ERP and pull back to manual, but the damage of going after AI and it's creating more damage and more issues for you, it's very hard to recover from that. So you need to be careful in terms of how to put a roadmap, an ambitious roadmap in managing your change, educating your people, and plus having governance in place, whether it's governance for AI or governance for data, data ownership, and privacy of the data, protection, how you really structure the data and work with it. And maybe starting even before that in terms of your current systems, what data you actually need and how you process it. So I believe it's a mix of thoughts, but fundamentally is capacity building and change management, which is covered all.
Well, that's
Thank
a
you.
very powerful and a strong point, Ahmed. Don't just pave the cow path, build a new road. So, and on that note, Petrus will come to you. You see the world through a lens of spatial computing and high stake precision. So, will the future, according to you, look back and we realize we treated AI like digital brain in a box for too long instead of realizing it was going to become the very fabric of our own physical reality? And what's the physical integration we are missing here, Beatrice?
Very good questions. I'm very positive about the future. I think agentic AI has actually made me very humble because I've seen what I have missed. Personally, I've seen maybe what blind spots I have, and not me only. I think really technology shows us what we're lacking. And if we are humble enough to really analyze their judgment versus what we would have done, we can really learn ourselves and we can really advance as a society. Um, so, what is missing is really. I fully agree with the panelists. The world is not equitable at the moment. We have a lot of disparity. And so I would love for everybody to be at the same level before all of these advancements happen, because if not, what's going to happen is that some are going to be inevitably left behind, and that is not a world I would like to live in. That's not a world I would like to, have a company in. And so I would first really like for all of the governments, for all of the people, for all of the, leaders to build the infrastructure, to be connected in the internet, to have basic digital literacy, to have basic digital skills. And then when we have that base, we can advance. Technology is very powerful. Now with virtual reality and with mixed reality, um, there's really no stop. We have cars that are autonomous, that you don't need a driver. I mean, what is going to be next, right? So we just need to help those in need, I believe, so that everybody can get there.
What an excellent take and what a profound way to, and the message is clear. The age of agents isn't just a, tech upgrade, it's a leadership evolution. And on that note, we would, for one last time, go back to all our panelists for one concluding remark. We'll start with Puneet. Puneet, your concluding remarks on today's topic.
I think I completely agree with Beatrice what she mentioned, and definitely it's a mind shift. Agentic AI is a mind shift, and we are moving from automation to autonomy. So definitely it's going to take a lot of uh, give and take both. So we need to be careful and obviously cognitive as well. But that is for sure that this is not going to be stopped. This is going to be the future as well. So we have to move on, but we have to be understand, and we have to understand the consequences and move on.
That's an interesting take. Future leaders, won't remember us for the agents we deployed, but for the culture of innovation we built to manage them. And Hanan, your take.
I'm really positive, and my mindset is I'm a firm believer in the role of technology improving our systems and our mentality and helping everybody, to look forward a better life, and nobody is left behind, as Beatrice mentioned before. I've been working in the tech field for almost 2 decades on capacity building, on empowerment, on making sure that leaders are making the right decisions. There is no other way, I believe, than making sure technology works for everyone. And to do that, we all need to be mobilized. And I hope for a better future. And thank you for the opportunity to be present here to broadcast that message.
Thank you, Hanan. Ahmed.
Sorry. Yeah. I believe it's going to be an exciting future. There is a huge potential with AI and all the emerging tech that's happening. But the main lesson with all the emerging technology and AI and agentic AI and so on, make sure it's not one fit all solution. You need to understand your organization, all the elements, internal and external, and you shouldn't be in a hurry, but you should be in a fast enough pace that you don't miss all the other elements that might impact you negatively for that.
Well, one shouldn't be in a hurry. Point noted. With this,
Thank
we'll move to Beatrice. Beatrice.
I think my last remark is there's a lot of power in agentic AI, but honestly, it's only worth it if it makes us better and if it makes humanity better. So let's all work towards that.
Us versus humanity. Let's all work towards that. What a thoughtful ending remark. On that note, I want to, thank you all our speakers, Beatrice, Ahmed, Hanan, Puneet, for helping us see around the corner today. And thank you to our audience, the architects of 2026 and beyond. Go out there and start orchestrating. I would say the session is now closed. Once again, thanks a lot. What an exciting session we just had. See you all again next time. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you all.
Exciting.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Amazing.
Thank you.